Come to Ukraine, cowards. You can't negotiate what you refuse to witness. This is what we will talk about today. This video is partly based on a post on Facebook by Roman Sheremeta and partly on my post on Quora, which actually just now got 7.5 thousand views. We will talk about United States, Russia and Ukraine. And it seemed like the American macho president, who claims to be so much better than Biden, along with Vice President and even Trump's envoys, are afraid to come to Ukraine. As of now, late April 2026, United States Special Envoy Steve Witkoff has not visited Ukraine yet, despite making numerous trips to Moscow to meet with Putin. President Zelensky has described the failure of Witkoff and Jared Kushner to visit Kyiv, while frequently traveling to Russia, as disrespectful. Hello there, I'm Elena, welcome to my channel Enough of Propaganda. Ukrainian Roman Sheremeta issued a challenge for the US government officials who have never been to Ukraine and, like Vance, have only watched some videos and stories. Come with me to Ukraine, he says. We will go to the front line to deliver medical aid to wounded Ukrainian soldiers. We will visit a graveyard where thousands of Ukrainians were killed and buried. We will go to Bucha. We will have the chance to speak with a woman who watched as Russians forced her neighbor to his knees and shot him in the back of the head. We will go to a hospital. We will meet 6-year-old Danik, a little boy who lost a limb to a Russian bomb. We will stay in Kyiv, where you experienced running to bomb shelter several times a day. You will know what it is like to live without water, electricity or heat in the dead of winter. And only then, maybe you will earn the right to give Ukrainians advice on how to negotiate with Russia. While we are talking, I'll show you real news. What is real news these days looks like. Current Time TV, created by US organizations Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty and Voice of America. The very organizations Trump helped Putin try to shut them down, so people didn't know the truth. These people have journalists on the place in Ukraine, on the battlefield, in Europe, and in other places. Real journalists right now there. This is the news which used to be every news that way. Nowadays, it's all he said, she said, opinion. These are the real news. And now they actually auto-dubbed. This is how you get there. Audio track English. Russian original English.
So last night, Russia launched a massive combined attack on Ukraine. The Russian military launched 619 drones and 47 missiles of various types. At this time, 8 people are known to have died, and more than 50 wounded across the country.
Several places got attacked. Dnipro, Odesa, Nezhin, and so on. This is what Russia is doing while they're losing on the battlefield. They keep attacking civilians. And this is what's showing from the ground reporters of Current Time. A Russian attack in Dnipro destroyed residential building, killing 5 people. 2 people were killed in Nezhin, Chernihiv Oblast. You can see the footage from Current Time. This is Kyiv, Odessa, Dnipro. Since Trump is so obsessed with Biden, it was pointed out, Joe Biden can be criticized, but he was the only US president who fulfilled the will of the American people and provided Ukraine with more weapons than any other president. He was brave enough to visit Ukraine, stand by US allies, not to bow to the Russian dictator Putin. Biden was also careful not to reveal American secrets to Putin and didn't roll out the red carpet for him. This is Biden in Kyiv. Ukraine will never be a victory for Russia. Never. According to Vance, Trump didn't accomplish anything better than stopping the supply weapons to Ukraine. Bravo! So Mr. Sheremeta in his Facebook post invites American president, American vice president, American envoys to visit his country. Maybe then they will understand what are they negotiating about. I agree with Roman Sheremeta. I agree also with what Garry Kasparov has to say, Russian famous chess player.
Donald Trump, who is the, populist by political instincts, always followed public opinion, ignoring keeps ignoring the support for Ukraine, which is growing even among his own base, MAGA base. That tells us that there are some other reasons that are more important for Trump than American public opinion.
He is also surprised that even in United Nations, the United States siding with Russia, with nobody, loser Putin, kind of like North Korea, Nicaragua, and so on.
Shame beyond imagination. America's reputation has been so badly damaged that I'm not sure it will be enough just for the next president, whoever it is, to actually to recover it. It will take longer time before people will restore the confidence in America that, you know, was the beacon of hope and garden of democracy at the days where I grew up as a kid on the other side of Iron Curtain.
I grew up in the Soviet Union as well, and I remember that America was the beacon of hope. And Radio Liberty, Voice of America, that's where Soviet people were getting their information from. And Trump trying to side with Putin against Europe, against Ukraine, which is supposed to be their allies, and trying to destroy the beacon of hope, America as a beacon of hope, and American newspapers and media who actually bring in the truth to people. I am the person who researched the war in Ukraine since the very beginning in 2014 for over 12 years, and I agree with Kasparov.
I still don't believe that Vladimir Putin will negotiate with Zelensky. It's virtually impossible to recognize that the entire military campaign, the war that he started against Ukraine, ended up with him negotiating with Zelensky. But I don't think that we should see in a foreseeable future, or at all, any direct negotiations between Putin and Zelensky.
So
Putin
why is
war, and as long as he stays in power, the war will continue.
The journalist is asking why Zelensky is saying that he's ready to negotiate or something like that. And Kasparov is saying that it's normal diplomatic game.
He has to illustrate that Ukraine is willing. This is what else you can recommend to Zelensky and his team? They demonstrate to their allies, true allies in Europe, that Ukraine is willing to negotiate. I think they understand.
Kasparov also pointed out that Mitt Romney called Russia #1 geopolitical foe of the United States. And he was right, but Democrats wasn't right at the time. Obama was mocking him for it. But just a few years later, Republicans embraced enemy Russia because of Trump's loyalty to Putin and began the Russian hoax gaslighting that still persists. This being wrong, and this being a traitor. This is what Russia is doing to Ukraine every single day, and continue doing so. Thanks to Trump, during his second presidency in the year of 2025, Russia killed 25% more Ukrainians than in previous year, and 75% more wounded. That was reported by agency and by several others. So this is what happened in Kyiv and people's apartments and so on. And that's what I was trying to tell you all along. Started from my channel in 2022. That Russia cannot be negotiated with. It's useless. Putin will not stop this war. He didn't start it to stop. And we need to help Ukraine, not Putin. Like Trump just now removed sanctions again from Russia. From their ship and oil and so on. So they could use Russian oil. And trying to convince Europe get back hooked up again to the Russian oil again. On the bright side, Russia and Ukraine held a prisoner exchange in Belarus. 193 for 193. So some Ukrainian people finally will get home to their families. Please like, subscribe, share my videos, write comments. Let's make truth available for everyone. Do you think Trump or his representatives will ever come to Ukraine? Please let me know in the comments. Thank you for staying with my channel. Thank you for supporting me. Learn the truth, stay informed, and help Ukraine. See you later.